Hello, this is Victor at RestoringMercedes.com. This is a video for a local customer, for Jay in New York, and I just want to go over the car real quick, just so kind of have a log of what's going to happen and what's happening, what I see, and what I will be doing here. Now, number one thing is obviously the Asr problem. So Asr problem, you know, even though the throttle bodies, they were rebuilt, I see the wires were replaced, but internally I'm not sure on these motors because this is a small bolt case. These throttles have this problem with these motor brushes, so that needs to be checked out for sure. Same thing with the e-gas module. So the e-gas module was wiped out. Unfortunately, there are no codes stored. It's just clean, no codes. So nothing I can say about in terms of diagnostic. I can't say what codes are stored, and so far I drove this car about 40 miles by now and I couldn't get it to do the limp. It just doesn't want to go into limp. So the approach here will be is that I'm going to remove the e-gas and I'm going to open it up, double check internals, change a couple of capacitors just for the good measure. In terms of motors, I do want to open up motors inside throttle bodies, both of them, and rebuild the motors themselves. Even though the wires could be good, but the motors could be bad. I really wanted to go into limp, so I tried to drive it as much as I can here and there, that's basically the goal. I want to have any codes. I want to see at least something from the e-gas module than just guessing, you know. Now there are a couple of codes that are stored in this module right here. That's a diagnostic module, so it records history. So there are two codes for history in the module saying that yes, there was emergency app, there was a limp mode, and other modules just say that we have no communication with e-gas. So long story short, if you take the e-gas out and put it back in, then yes, those codes will be stored. So right now everything's wiped out, so not the greatest setup. Next, we have check engine light. It was taped at some point, and I guess because nobody could figure out what's going on, and the problem there is second gear upshift delay. That does not work, so therefore check engine light will come on eventually. So I guess they cleared it, it didn't come back on, but then again after about 4 or 5 drives it does come on. So that's that. So I'll check that out in a little bit, but that's the next thing. First thing is the Asr situation. Wipers, we know the wipers are off. As you can see, they're like off. So that's that. Inside the vehicle, it's a beautiful condition. I mean, it drives awesome, very nicely. I have no problems with suspension, although I do think that there is a problem with lower control arm bushings, because at 55 miles an hour there is a shimmy in the steering wheel, like it just shakes a little bit. When you give it a little load, then the shake goes away, so you make tension on suspension and then it goes away. There's a little bit of a squeak inside the steering wheel somewhere. As you can hear it, that little squeaking. That's that. Radio, that's a bizarre one. With the radio situation, the speaker is popping, so I think that was the reason why somebody tried to open up one of these covers. I think this car has somebody tried to mess with it back there. As you can see, they tried to pop it. You're not supposed to do it that way. First off, you got bolts here, so you just take this bolt out, and I believe there are 2 more bolts under this cover, so you're gonna break it if you're gonna just pry it. So to get the speaker, that has to be done. I'll deal with that last. I mean, that's not something that we need to deal with. So this quad seating, this is very rare. This is really cool. It's 4 seats in this car. The lumbar supports unfortunately are leaking, so those are at 0. I'm going to actually take the locking pump apart and the door lock pump. yeah, this is electric seat, so I have to undo the screws to remove to see the pump, because also it sounds to me that the pump is missing its holder to dampen the noise, because it's quite loud every time it activates. So that shouldn't be like that. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna check on the pump. Right, so that's that. The suction. That pump also has to do, I mean, it has to be done because it pulls for way too long. Therefore, driver's door always times out. After 3-4 tries, it just stops operating. So, and it's very annoying because that's the main door. So I'll deal with that as well. Other than that, oh, last thing. Suspension in the back has a little bit of a banging, so it could be the lower control arm, the bushing, the outer knuckle, in the knuckle that's pressed in there. That could be the strut itself, but that's not too pronounced, so it's actually something not to deal with right at the moment. So first, let's deal with throttle bodies. So I'm going to park the car here and get throttle bodies done first. And well, actually, probably not going to do it like ASAP. I probably would want to drive this a little more, try to get it to go into limp, because it refuses to go into limp. I drove it you know, like in about the same range where that history computer actually showed me. The range was about 800, 900, like from about 800 to like about 1100 RPM. That's when it happened. So that's what I really want to do. And this fan clutch seemed to be off the market. I believe it is off the market, yes, because it's always engaged. Not like it's a bad thing, it's just that when the fan is always engaged, it's just noisy. It's supposed to shut off, and it only activates when it needs to activate, and it always comes on and off, so there's less wind noise inside the car. And that's kind of like, well, to me, I mean, I don't know, it's just many people don't realize it, but you know, to me, that's how it's supposed to be. It should be quiet, and right now the fan is always engaged, so you always hear this helicopter noise. So radio were covered, and I think there is a vacuum leak somewhere, because every time you start the car, RPMs do not stabilize. They just like up and down until they stabilize. So that I'm going to check with the computer. But like, I don't want to touch anything before I get it to go into limp mode. So like I said, I drive it almost every day, a little bit here, a little bit there, and see if I can get it to go into limp, so I can get some code, some sort of a baseline to start off with something. So hopefully I'll be successful in that, because right now it just came back. It's kind of warm, so it's what I see. The engine is clean. As you can see, I can't see too well in the camera, but it's clean, so somebody did oil changes on time. Very nice. And transmission shifts nice. And it's a beautiful machine. I mean, actually, it's a pretty nice condition. I mean, I really like it. It has huge potential. It just needs to be taken care of with all these things, and it will be a really, really nice driver. Okay, so I guess I'll wrap this up for now. What I wanted to say and what I wanted to mention, I think I did. So right now, I think I'm gonna, cut it off, and then that's it. Maybe I'll make another video of how what I found with these throttles and whatever, the computer and whatnot. Okay, so this is all for now. This is Victor at historiamercedes.com. Thank you for watching.